So historical research has always been part of my work, but this exhibition in particular is not looking at a specific archive, but instead looks at bureaucratic and institutional spaces more broadly. So the framed plastic cuts work come from 3 different groups of documents. One dealing with an application for asylum, the second one is a refugee waiver, and the third one is actually an application against deportation. What I've done within the documents is to remove the text and information, but instead focus on the space that is given on each page, especially outlining the boxes, lines, squares. For me, this exhibition is about providing sort of an alternative way to look at documents themselves, not only as a tool to survey information, but also as a way how we can see it as a different form of border within the spatial limitations of the page itself. The choice to cast them in plaster had directly to do with the way, building materials or rooms and spaces are built, and how bureaucracy is sort of almost set into the architecture we surround ourselves in. So we have 4 sculptures within the space that actually look at an architectural detail of different casserole designs. They range from 1842 to 1993 and actually look at the specific floor plan of each casserole space. So we're talking about, for instance, the Pentonville prison from 1842 to the layout that is quote-unquote called the New Generation from 1993. I think the soil is actually a living element within the sculptures. They somehow refer to life outside, so the soil is taken actually directly from the immediate surrounding of MIT. And at the same time, to me, they are almost like a ruin, or they create a ruin within the sculpture when you look at them from the top. So it's sort of, life, but also destruction at the same time. We designed this exhibition also to fit with certain accessibility standards. So the mirror elements within the exhibition above the sculpture are a way to reflect actually the soil while you walk around the space. In the same way, we try to hang the works fairly low to allow, easier access to the works. The mirrors are also inviting to look into the sculptures as an interior. So I think what you can get from the mirrors is to actually see the specific layers of the particular cells and the room divisions. So I think like the carpet immediately sets your senses into a different kind of realm, where the corners aren't clearly defined, where the wall and the floor just become one, where you immediately are projected into a different sort of space that causes a sense of disorientation, and somehow because your eyes can't easily focus on a specific point. And that's somehow what I wanted, is to project the viewer into a different time and space through the carpet. In the same way, the 2 seating units within the exhibition that are right next to the window area, on the one hand provide space to sit down and rest, but also at the same time they are very uncomfortable. The sculptures refer actually to other quote-unquote non-spaces, like the airport or the immigration office or the carceral space, a kind of semi-public space that is somehow defined but not defined at the same time. They communicate a sense of protection and safety with their rounded edges. Everything is weld together. You can't really take it apart. You can't hurt yourself. But at the same time, they are also extremely uncomfortable and uninviting at the same time. They carry this sort of ambivalence that somehow I also wanted to create with the overall space itself. So the 8-channel sound work I developed with my sound producer Alexis Chan, and there are essentially 2 stereo speakers accompanying each sculpture, and that becoming an 8-channel sound work. And it's almost like a travel through time. Initially, we were inspired by music from the different time periods that then quickly became more like a source of inspiration, where we abstracted the noise from it. What I've done is to compose the entire music, but we also included more physical sounds, such as heartbeat, or my brain waves and how they neurotically jumped back and forth, to create a physical experience with the sculptures. So the sound, in a way, accompanies the sculptures and allows maybe an emotional access to the sculptures. So Civic Floor somehow refers to the various quote-unquote layouts or spaces, or even the ground we walk on, that is worth fighting for. This exhibition is special to me because it takes place at MIT. For me personally, I think this exhibition is also a space for contemplation of MIT's history and affiliations with the US military, and how technologies and the things we advance through technology and space and design and creation, that these are also spaces we need to examine with caution. So this exhibition hopefully provides that sort of space for also MIT to consider its relations with whatever it produces here on the campus.